Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Erleen Tilton, and I'm so happy to be able to share some great information with you this week, as well as all the other weeks that we are able to have this group coaching call. So this week, it's manage pain before there's pain. So everyone at some time or another has pain that we deal with. And we're going to look at different types of pain as we go through this. But first of all, manage pain before there's pain. How on earth can we do that? That seems a little bit silly to think about. But as we go through this, I think you can understand really what I'm trying to tell you. So today we're going to explore different types of pain, proactive prevention versus the reactive approach, the root causes of pain or illness, how to reverse inflammation and regenerate your body, and natural solutions that work. So first, let's talk about different types of pain. Now, there's many other different types of pain, but I'm going to address these four specifically today: inflammation and how it can actually create that chronic illness. And this is where most of the people are struggling today. They are dealing with inflammation in that chronic stress on their bodies. So we're also going to look at emotional roots and unplanned body stress and how to work with that, as well as injuries, both tissue and bone injuries, and for sickness, which is either induced or acquired. There's two approaches, especially when it comes to inflammation and unplanned pain. And it's either the reactive approach or the proactive prevention approach. And I remember years ago having a story shared with me on proactive prevention. And I've always remembered this story, and I thought I would share it with you today. Actually, there was a farmer that interviewed different individuals as a farmhand. And so as he went through the interviews, one of the fellows that he interviewed said, "I'm a very hard worker. I work efficiently, and I even try to do more than is required of me. And I can sleep when the wind blows." And the farmer kind of looked at him, "Well, you can sleep when the wind blows. What does that have to do with anything?" So he went ahead and hired him. And within the next week, actually, there arose a very big storm. And the farmer heard the wind blowing, just immediately woke up. He went and knocked on the farmhand's door, and he didn't respond. He says, whatever. And he went outside. When he got to the barn, he opened the door. He realized that it had new hinges, it had new locks, and it was securely fastened. He went up into the loft and to secure the shutters, and he noticed again there were new hinges, new locks. It was secured very well. He ran down to the animals to look at the gates and the posts and make sure everything was secure for the animals. They were safe. And again, he could see that everything was tight. And then he realized he knew what this farmhand meant, that he could sleep with the wind blows. He had done everything. He was able to prevent all of the things that normally this farmer would just react to. Oh, there's a storm. And so he was going to do all that in the middle of the night, but this farmhand had taken care of it. So are you prepared for the storms of your life? Because they do come. So how prepared are you? So first of all, what normally we don't look at with the reactive approach is the root cause. So this is how we can work in the proactive prevention approach, is to look at the root cause. Is it stress or emotions? Is it poor diet? Is it lack of water, lack of sleep, unhealthy lifestyle choices? These are some of the root causes to a lot of the pain that we experience, yet many times we don't even think to look at those things. And I know many of our professionals today aren't really addressing the root cause and really trying to correct the problem in this way. But this is really, really important. So let's look at what causes inflammation, because this is super, super important, especially when it comes to looking at the root cause, because inflammation is a forerunner of pain in many of the cases of how we deal with pain. So first of all, it can be unplanned stress. Now, some of these are unfortunate events like a death or divorce or other family challenges. We deal with these types of things every day, but I can tell you that this type of stress usually ends up with a lot of worry and fear and anxiety, all of which are emotions that are typical. However, that doesn't help. That doesn't help take care of the problem. And if we look at the problem head on, there's other ways that we can deal with this unplanned stress. Injury. We can't always foresee injuries, a car accident, a fall. We can't always prevent injuries. So we have to deal with them, but we can work with unhealthy lifestyle choices, because these can be a huge root to a lot of the inflammation that people experience in today's world. And here's a good area to start with. If you look at foods, we have our inflammation causers and our inflammation fighters. And again, I encourage you to take a screenshot of this, because these are really, really important when it comes to fighting inflammation. To avoid these common inflammation causers, our nightshade family. These are our tomatoes, our potatoes, our peppers, and our eggplants. I have found that people, if they will just eliminate some of these things, and you don't even think of the nightshade family as being bad because, they're fresh vegetables, but they can actually trigger inflammation. Anything that's refined, all of our refined foods cause inflammation. Anytime you take away the real nutrients and only have the flavors and the carbs there, those can cause inflammation. Or soft drinks, sport drinks, caffeine, alcohol, all of these drinks, there's so many drinks that cause inflammation. Red meats also cause inflammation, and also our high omega-6 fats, as well as our hydrogenated oils. As we look at, a lot of these are lump sum into those refined foods. And the more we stay away from these refined foods that cause inflammation, the better it is. And again, this is where the proactive prevention approach really is helpful and works really well. Then on the flip side of that, we want to include more of our inflammation fighters. So our cruciferous vegetable family, like our broccoli, our cabbage, kale, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, these are inflammation fighters. Also our green leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, these are all really good. Of course, kale is in our cruciferous family as well. Our olive oil and our coconut oil are both good for fighting inflammation. Our omega-3 fatty fish, like salmon, sardines. There's more, mackerel, but those are more of the common ones. Fresh berries, cherries, pomegranates, mushrooms, sweet potatoes, garlic, and onions. These are all good inflammation fighters. And if you kind of look at it, you can even create meals that are more for fighting the inflammation. And it's great. It's great. We have some great foods that can fight inflammation and create meals that are very good and tasty. Inflammation starts in the gut. and can create digestive disorders, which actually lead to leaky gut. That's where there's perforations in our gut lining. And it can actually, as it leaks through, it creates autoimmune conditions. Also, stress. Stress is a huge forerunner, as I mentioned just a bit ago, that can cause that inflammation in the gut because it creates stress not only emotionally, but physically, and can really affect our gut. So we have to remember that your gut health is your health. And if it starts in the gut, that's where we really need to start. And that's why starting with our foods and what we eat is super, super important. Inflammation also leads to chronic illness. So the joint discomfort, the injuries, the infection, the trauma, the autoimmune challenges, the overuse joint syndromes, fractured areas that don't heal properly or completely, poor posture, sedentary lifestyle, digestive blockages. These are just to name a few that really can lead to that chronic pain and chronic illness. So, where do we start? We first start with excluding those inflammation causers and including the inflammation fighters in our daily routines. Those who do this is what they report. There's less pain, more energy, less stiffness, more flexibility, even better digestion and better sleep. And that is definitely something to rejoice about. But secondly, provide the tools for regeneration. Along with diet, we want to make sure that we're flushing with clean water. And adding that lemon essential oil actually accelerates the benefits of cleansing. And so get the water down. I've talked to so many people on a weekly basis as I do coaching calls that are just thinking they're drinking enough water and 3 or 4 glasses a day. They think they're really getting it all in. But in order to really flush effectively, we need half of our body's weight in ounces of water every day. So a 150-pound person will need 75 ounces of water minimum every day, and add those lemon drops to be able to accelerate the benefits. So good nutritional supplements, this is where lifelong vitality is super, super important. And I know people get tired of me saying the 30-day Activate, Cleanse, and Renew program. Super, super important because, again, it all starts in the gut. And you've got to heal the gut. And the way to heal the gut is to cleanse out the bad and replenish it with good. And this is what this whole program is all about. And it really works. You just got to take my word for it. And I recommend always doing it in a 90-day minimum, because that's where you're going to really see the results you're seeking. Third is supplement and apply. So, especially for inflammation, external inflammation, you want to apply and supplement. Now, these are things that I have found really, really work well. So, first of all, the turmeric capsules, they're a time release and a double capsule, work very, very well for addressing that daily inflammation. Deep Blue is a topical application for joint pain. Also, the Deep Blue polyphenol capsules are really good. They have a combination of superfoods and polyphenols that are excellent for reducing the pain and inflammation. And I highly recommend those. Additionally, for muscle pain, again, the turmeric capsules, the copaiba. Now, copaiba, many of you may be familiar with copaiba, very similar to CBD oil. The copaiba is completely different, but it has many of the same results and is actually less money and more effective. And so we love the copaiba soft gels and how they can really help to reduce this muscle pain and inflammation. Marjoram, great essential oil. for muscles and helping our muscles to relax and work, as well as the deep blue rub or deep blue stick. Those are very good for topical application. Now, I've also found Siberian fir to work exceptionally well, and I'll share in just a minute at how I have found that even to help in proactive prevention. So again, when we talk about reactive action or proactive prevention, I just wanted to share with you, my husband left out the door this morning. He is actually putting new flooring down in a rental of ours. And my daughter is helping him today, and they did this all day yesterday. And he was really complaining this morning how his knees and back and legs are really, really hurting and sore. And I said, well, you can do the proactive prevention. I said, apply all the oils topically today so that you can prevent the pain tomorrow and actually address the pain that you're experiencing today. So this is something that I have learned using essential oils, that they work really well as far as prevention. If I know I'm hiking, I know I'm working, if I know I'm using certain muscles, if I know I'm working out and I'm working these specific areas, I can use proactive prevention. And the oils that I use is my Siberian fir and my sandalwood together. Those are exceptional as far as preventing. So it's really a choice. You can wait till the pain arrives, or you can use this proactive prevention and do this ahead of time. So talking about stress and how this can really affect us and create pain and inflammation. Stress really happens when we lack water, because this promotes flow, and our bodies become stagnant when we do not get the water and the cleansing power. We lack sleep for regeneration. And I think that a lot of people feel like they can get by on 5 and 6 hours, so they go to bed too late and get up too early, and they don't get enough sleep. They lack good nutrition. They're eating foods, but they're not getting the nutrients that they need. And worry, lack of positive focus is also the cause of stress. Now, a lot of people say all these other things cause stress. You know what? These 4 areas are far more stress causing than all the other things that you may hear online. You've got to understand this is root causes of real stress. So how do we lower our stress? Well, first of all, we can kind of undo those other things, get more water, get good sleep, and eat right, but also add our lifelong vitality, that 3 set of supplements right there in the middle, because that is so important to fill in the holes of maybe nutrients that you're missing, and your body is able to utilize these. Now, here on the left is where I really encourage people to use our essential oils. Now, we have the adaptive, not only our soft gels, but we have the adaptive oil blend. And this is something that you would either take the adaptive soft gels internally or take the adaptive oil calming blend, either topically or diffused. And they work very, very well. Balance is also really good for balancing your emotions. And wild orange is one of our least expensive oils, yet very, very good for reducing stress. Add it to your water, add it to the back of your neck, inhale it, diffuse it, whatever that takes. But these are also really good for lowering stress. Very, very effective, I might say. But you want to do this ahead of time before you're stressful, and work up to that proactive prevention of preventing that stress or preventing it going further. Emotions have deep roots. Emotional stress can lead to stomach aches, irritable bowel syndrome or IBS, and headaches. Studies have found that the more anxious and stressed you are, the more tense and constricted your muscles become. And this causes your muscles to become fatigued and inefficient. Chronic pain especially with all the stress, can debilitate one's ability to move with ease. It can hinder normal functioning of your body, and it can create those feelings of more stress, that hopelessness, that depression, and anxiety. So, we really need to address the emotions because emotions can be root causes for physical pain. And a good example of this is I have a very good friend who, as a massage therapist, had a woman come in one day and was coughing, coughing, coughing. And so, thinking out of the box, she went and got her essential oils and she gave her breathe. She put a couple of drops of breathe in her palm, had her rub her hands together and cup them over her nose and inhale. She did that for a couple of minutes, and then she had her get down basically on the bed again. And again, she was coughing so much, there was no way to give her a massage. So she stopped and she asked her a few questions. She says, "What has been going on in the last couple of years? What is going on in your life?" And she said, well, she had quit work and retired about 2 years earlier. And she says, "What's happened since then?" She says, "Well, my husband feels like I'm good for nothing." And she says, "Well, when did the cough start?" And she said, "About 2 years ago." So she realized that the breathe was not the solution at all, even though it seemed to be. She gave her console, and she put a couple of drops in her hand again. She had her rubber hands together, cup it over her nose, and inhale. And guess what? She was able to stop coughing. She didn't cough all throughout the rest of the treatment. And the following day, she was able to still go on with her daily routine without coughing. That was amazing. The cause of her cough was she felt she was useless and of no worth. And to me, that was pretty interesting to know that definitely we have root causes to the challenges that we face. So let's talk about head tension. Is there a root cause? Now, interestingly enough, my son just approached me within the last couple of weeks, and I realized what was going on with what was causing my migraines. And I said, "What?" Because he has had migraines for many, many years. And I asked him what was going on. And he said, "I am not getting enough sleep. I was trying to
Mm.
survive on 5 to 6 hours of sleep." So we have to, again, look at the root cause. And I asked him, "Are you drinking enough water?" I asked him all these years. He was drinking the water, but he was not getting enough sleep. So late nights and not enough sleep can really, really create those migraines or that head tension that we might have. Chemical additives to foods are huge when it comes to migraines. There's so many chemical additives, food colorings, preservatives, flavorings, enhancers. All of these things can be causing that head tension and stress that we don't like. And I know many families that have experienced these types of issues and have found that it's certain type of chemical additives. Our bodies don't know how to process and can't process chemical additives. So if we are consuming these types of things, then we need to make sure and eliminate them if we're experiencing these things. Eliminate them anyway. They're not good for any of us. But toxic colon is another reason for this head tension and stress that so many people experience. And that's again where I go back to the 30-day detox. We've got to clean out our gut and our colon because those chemicals or the toxicity that's in our colon that just stays, it doesn't export like we might think it does. No, it set up a home there and they continue to cause us grief if we don't remove them. So, talking about injuries and sickness Here are some several ideas that can be very, very helpful. So let's first address ear pain. I have found tea tree just under the earlobe, behind the earlobe, very, very good for addressing an earache, followed with lavender because the tea tree is more of addressing the inflammation while the lavender is calming. So you want both on any cut or sore. They really are helpful, but for ear pain and also stings and bites. So we have these stings and bites on occasion. Applying the tea tree followed with lavender is a really, really good first choice. Now, when it comes to abrasions, sores, and cuts, again, the tea tree and lavender are super, super effective. Frankincense is also very, very good. They say when in doubt, use frankincense. I agree. Helichrysum is specific for healing. And so we first need to address the inflammation and any of the microbes that we don't want. We want to calm, we want to be able to support with the frankincense that can help regenerate, and then apply the helichrysum because it's very, very regenerative and healing. The correct X is also really good for abrasions, sores, and cuts. Now, when we're talking about muscle strains and sprains and leg cramps, in general, we've got our deep blue line. Very, very good. The deep blue rub, the deep blue oil, the deep blue blend in the 10 mil or the deep blue touch in the 10 mil. They're all very good. Now, my favorite would be the deep blue stick. I don't have to get my fingers in it. I can rub it straight on, and it also includes the copaiba, which is really good, again, for pain. And those are our deep blue line. I specifically, for my body, respond better to the Siberian fir plus sandalwood or Siberian fir wintergreen and sandalwood all together. This is a really winning combination for me. And I love being able to do that. So that's what I told my husband this morning. Do the Siberian fir and the sandalwood. And that's what he did as he left out the door. Now, the wintergreen is also really good, specifically for pain, and it addresses the pain. So if there's a lot of intense pain involved, add the wintergreen. If it's just more of the subtle pain, and the inflammation, do the Siberian fir plus the sandalwood. The sandalwood is regenerating and super, super important for these types of issues. Now, I couldn't go through this without sharing my Pain Be Gone formula. I broke my arm 3 years ago, and this was a hard thing to do. It was really difficult to break my arm. I think the first thing you want to do is like, why did I do something so stupid and whatever? But I wanted to share the fact that I did try to use all those pain relievers that everybody recommended that I've never taken in my life. And I tried everything out there that everybody could recommend, and nothing worked. So I thought, I will go to what I trust, and that is my essential oils. And so I went online, and I knew this pain blend was out there, but I never had to use it personally because I never have pain and never dealt with this type of injury, at least not for many, many years before I knew essential oils. So I really had not dealt with this. So what I did, actually, the formula online will say, take 5 drops of these and fill them in capsules. Well, I only had one arm. I couldn't fill it in a capsule. And besides, it wouldn't go in one. I would have to do 2 after all of that because 5 drops times 4, 20 drops won't go in one of the largest capsules. So I chose to just put it in a tablespoon. And actually, it was so much easier. Yeah, it's nasty, but you know what? You follow it with that glass of water and it is fine. Or you could do it in 2 capsules. Or I have found other people that have actually put those same things in a 5 ml roller bottle, doubled it, and added the fractionated coconut oil and actually applied it on topically. So this is especially good for children or older people that are going to freak out about either taking pills or the taste. So many times putting it in a roller bottle is really the best choice. So for me and the broken arm, I did this religiously every time I felt pain, which was 2 to 3 to 4 times a day the first 2 weeks because of that intense pain. After that, I did it maybe once or twice a day just when I felt more pain. So it really is up to you. You don't want to take 5 drops of these 4 times a day forever, the rest of your life. But it was only for a short period of time. I was able to get on top of it and it worked really, really well. So, for any type of digestive discomfort or sickness, here are formulas that you can try. So I always say the first three are good for any digestive discomfort or sickness, whatever it is. You got to get the enzymes. So that's where the Terrazyme comes in. You've got to get the probiotics. That's where our PB Assist comes in. And then the DigestZen blend, and that comes in either just the liquid or it even comes in the soft gel. So those three are just the magic formula, and they work so well for any type of digestive discomfort or sickness. Also, we have the children's formula, which is the Tamer blend that's in a roll-on, and a lot of adults say that this works best for them. So whatever works. The digestive blend is more a peppermint, but the Tamer is more spearmint. And sometimes children work better with that. Sometimes men work better with the spearmint than the peppermint. And so try Tamer if the DigestZen blend doesn't work for you. Now, we also have the peppermint soft gels. These are intrinsic coated, which means they're time released more, and we can actually get a little bit of a time. They stay in our small intestines and very, very effective. Or sometimes people like the digest tab. So we have these options that are available. Any type of gastrointestinal disorders, we have to think again of healing our gut, because this is where the inflammation starts, right? So in order to get on top of this, again, we need to go back to diet. We need to do that cleanse and renew, 30-day activate, cleanse and renew for 90 days minimum. We've got to make sure that we are drinking water with the lemon essential oil. Again, we can use lemon juice, but the oil is powerful. It's a different part of the lemon and it doesn't work the same. We can use those magic 3 for digestive issues and get the Terrazyme, the PB Assist, and the DigestZen blend or soft gels work really, really well for healing your gut. And then our lifelong vitality, getting that good nutrition. Now, I have found additionally getting that Terrazyme every morning upon arising. This is a proactive prevention habit that I have, because it actually helps to break down whatever is in your gut. First thing in the morning with a big glass of water and 2 or 3 drops of lemon essential oil. Take those 2 Terrazyme and help break down anything in the gut. You jumpstart your metabolism, you start more energy, but you also can take care of anything that's negative going on in the gut. And super, super helpful for your gastrointestinal dysfunction or your gut overall. Additionally, I have found this to be super, super effective, and I didn't want to go without talking about this. The Symphony of the Cells, the Chi protocol. This is super, super helpful. Now you see all of those oils right there in a line. If you want to take a screenshot of this, but this is in the Symphony of the Cells protocol. And again, it's called the Chi protocol. It's a topical application for others as well as yourself. Now, again, when I broke my arm and I was in a lot of intense pain, I knew that I needed help. And so actually, I got my husband to be able to apply it. The best way is for somebody to do this for you. But guess what? He wasn't around 24 hours of the day. He went to work. And I needed help with this. So he applied it when he could in this order, but I had to do it myself as well. And I found that I experienced almost the same amount of relief when I did it myself than when he did it. So that's why I say you can do this topical application yourself. What I did was my cast went from just below or the mid palm and went up above my elbow. So I applied it on my fingers and then I applied it on my arm above my elbow where the cast was. And I did this religiously again for my intense pain moments. I'd take the Pain Be Gone blend internally, but I would also do this on my arm, fingers and upper arm. And I'm telling you, it helped so much. It was incredible. I think that the two working together topically and internally was a magic solution for me and for anybody else that wants to do this. So yes, there's a lot of oils and you feel like you're swimming in oils at the end, but guess what? Wow, it works. And I encourage you to think of how this can work for you as well. So let me know what your questions are because I love to help with your questions. And before we get to your questions, I just want you to know that if you need help, make sure and email me. Send
Okay.
your full name and your cell phone number. And if you haven't taken that wellness assessment online, make sure that you do this because this is another way I can help you. So let me go ahead and stop the screen share. And then we will get your questions answered from there. There we go. All right.
I'm really glad you did this because I took a course on how emotions affect our body. So there's a real mind-body connection. So I did a lot of studies. So this was very good. And it's interesting. I don't know if you believe in eat right for your blood type.
Oh, I have.
But it seems like my blood type, like nightshade vegetables are an issue for me. And it's hard for me to get rid of my potatoes. But I remember my doctor and somebody else said that based on my body, that nightshade, that almost everything that you have for inflammation for my issue, those are the things that I had to stop, which has been a struggle. But the inflammator fighter was very good. That I'm thinking that I was the only one. I thought I came up and was creative and made my own concoction called Pain Be Gone.
Oh, awesome.
And inside of each one, I will put a scripture, Proverb 17:22, that a merry heart is like medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bone, because I believe it. So, but I had a whole thing that I did. So it was interesting. I use copaya, whatever you pronounce that. I use sandalwood, I use helichrysum, I use wintergreens, I use deep blue. It was like 6 of them because I mixed one for pain and one for inflammation into one. Then I did an inflammation, and a lot of people said that pain helped them a lot and they wanted more, but I just haven't gotten into. That's a lot of work, and I don't know how to price it. It's tough because I don't know how to do it and how many drops. So I would just count out what I thought and add some coconut oil and pour. Like I really need to take a class on how much you do when you make oils. That's why.
Let me stop you right there. Go to the Modern Essentials book because in there is a section on blending essential oils. And it's really, really important because the order in which you blend makes a difference. And it gives you an idea of how much to do for which ones. So it's not cut and dry, but it is a very good guide. So how to blend it talks about the different oils that you add in order. So I think you will get a great, at least start for how.
I need to make sure I have the Modern Essential book. I have a book, a doTERRA book of all the oils and all the compound. I don't know if that's what it is. So I need to go make sure I have the right book because I don't remember seeing how, but it could be because in the beginning of the book, it has all of the pain, all of your health issues, and it tells you what to do. Then it has a list of all of the single oils, the combination oils, and then at the end it has like the compounds, like real technical. So is that the modern interval?
Yep. I think
So
that's
I must have just missed that.
it's
Okay, I'll look
at
at
the
it.
end. It used to be at the beginning, but now they have it at the end. So
Okay,
the newer versions, they're at the end. And
got you.
I really encourage you to look at that, because I've learned that blending, there is a science to it, and you want
Yeah.
to do it right, because I found that, sometimes people do it this way, and then sometimes they do it this way, and it doesn't work. And they're wondering why this worked this way and this one didn't. And it's the same oils and the same amount of drops, and it's their order, and there's a little bit of
Wow.
science to it. So definitely
Okay.
do that.
I definitely do that. And then the one with the console oil, is that good for grief? I have a person whose father died. She's really having a hard time for grief. So, so it's called console.
Yes, console blend. Sounds great.
Thank you so much. This was a good class, because I really do believe in the mind body healing.
That's great.
This was really good. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Erleen. Have a good one.
You as
Bye-bye.
well. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.